Hello. I'd like to show you how to create tags in AWS Resources using the CDK. Why is this important? Tagging is fundamental. Tagging is really an essential process that helps you to improve your cost allocation, tracking, your automation, and your access control can be enhanced by using tag-based mechanisms instead of just having the individual resources, the resource policies, and identity policies come into play. So, it's a totally separate topic, all the details of why. But let's take a look at how to use CDK to put resource tags on the resources we deploy. I've already gone ahead and created a deployment with the CDK, this tagging stack, and inside the tagging stack there is a queue. If we go look at the resources in here, the tagging queue right there, we can go over and take a look at that. Here a queue that was created by that stack. And if we go and look at the tags, there is a mistake. The mistake, I mean, it's not that we didn't deploy what we asked for, but we didn't ask for tags, and we ought to, really. So, again, use tags to search for and filter your resources and track your AWS costs more efficiently, more effectively. So, again, not going to go into all the reasons why. Let's look at the technique here. So, of course, we could go into the CDK here, and we can take a look at what we have as far as the resource that we deployed. Simply a queue was deployed here. I didn't specify any tags, so the CDK deployed exactly what I asked for. But if we go and we take a look at the instructions back over here, we could go and we could edit the tags and then redeploy that stack, confirm that the tags exist. But I want to show you two ways, actually. So I'm going to kind of repeat those steps 2, 3, and 4. And then the reality in any real situation would be you could then track the resources using the tags throughout their lifecycle. Here's the actual steps that I want to show you. And I've already done the git clone, the cd, the npm install, and the npx CDK deploy. I also just showed you that pre-existing baseline of deploying the stack, the queue, without any tags. So I'm going to go through these two pair of steps, the copy of another version of this rather than having you mess around with versions in the Git repo, and we'll take a look here. So this first version I'm going to copy in. You actually do a diff of that if you wanted to ahead of time, but I'm just going to show you the destination version here. So all I've added in here is an important line to import. It's important. The tag and tags from the CDK. Also, I added in then these different tags here. You choose whatever tags you want. There are recommendations from AWS. You probably have your own personal favorites if you're used to tagging resources and want to track costs. So instead of department, instead of cost center, excuse me, I use department here, just 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be any kind of value. Owner, AWS demos, the environment, instead of prod or QA or staging or test and dev and other sorts of deployments for different customers even in the same AWS account that you might do. You could have the environment there. I just choose demo. And then this is the tagging demo is the project. So that would be like the microservice or the pipeline that you're deploying or whatever kind of apps that you're putting into AWS. So the actual values, the details of the tags are going to vary, but this is the technique. So let's take a look at what we get. Let's actually just look at the end of that there. So you can see the tag part at the end there. So we can then do a CDK deploy here. Do the CDK deploy, and then when that runs, we'll take a look. Oops, my mistake. So I have, if you look at the instructions that I pointed out earlier, I should have done an npx CDK deploy. One of the reasons I like to demo with that is because if we have a version mismatch, it'll deal with whatever I had in the actual repo. We'll use that version. And so I'm going to do node package executor here, the cloud development kit, cloud deployment kit, excuse me, and deploy that So now this is update in progress. So it's making a change to the existing resources that we may have in that particular deployment. And then it's done. Let's go take a look. So over here on the queue, I now go hit refresh up here. I'm just going to refresh the browser level here. Crude but effective, right? I hope. So it just reloads this. And then I go back over to tagging there. And we see, oh my goodness, there's 4 tags. Look at that. So we have these different tags that have been assigned from our project. Great. That's it. That's all it takes. But just one more thing that I'd like to show you. Again, back in this set of notes here, I noted that I was going to copy, instead of the direct assignment of tags, I wanted to show you also to do this via a map. A hash table, or whatever your languages of preference are. If you're in C#, you might call it a hash table. If you're in other languages, you have different words for it, but associative array, collection of things. And what I wanted to show is an alternative way. It's not necessary to use this kind of technique. The first one was effective. It worked fine. But let's take a look at this second approach here. So I'm just going to go and grab from my set of instructions earlier that replacement here. So next version here, let's take a look at that version here. And here, still have the import of tag and tags as earlier, but now actually set up a data structure, set up a map. This could be read from a file. It could be brought in from the app parameters of the CDK. A lot of different ways these values could get into the stack definition here. I just put them statically, forgive me. But I just want to show you a quick demo. Not the way it ought to be done, but you ought to put tags in. That's the key. That's the important thing to focus on here. And then down at the bottom, of course, we take that map and say, yeah, let's just, loop around through it. So just did a for each here. And this version of for each didn't take after the function, didn't take the this arg that some versions do. So the version of TypeScript I'm using here didn't like that. So I just did it a cruder way. I just said, let's grab the value of this for the stack, which includes the queue now and could be other resources, and then use that as the value here. So just kind of made a clone or copy of that into another variable, because I can't use this within the for each construct directly. So little hack there to get that to be happy, but effectively then we can go and redeploy. So get another update in progress of the stack, including the queue. And then when that's done, then we can go and we can check it at the command line or however we want. We can come back in here and notice I had a value of 1, 2, 3, 4 for the department here. I might have a version value or some other kind of tags which represent some other difference in the app. But let's see if this revised stack deployed the right tags, and there I have the 9876 value. How did that get in here? That was one of the values that I had back in the current version now of set of tags that we, set of tags that we assigned. So just a change there. So effectively, we can go and we can add in tags to any resources we want within the AWS Cloud using the CDK. All you got to do is make sure you put the definition of what the tags should be, what the value should be within your CDK app. That's it. Happy tagging.